Hey 8th graders, welcome to today's Explainer. We are going on a really fascinating journey right into the absolute origins of our universe. You know, we hear people talk all the time as if science and faith are totally at odds with one another, like they're two opposing teams, right? Well, today we're going to look at the actual evidence and see how incredible modern scientific discoveries actually harmonize beautifully with the biblical narrative. We're diving into cosmic background radiation, or what we can kind of think of as the divine echo of creation. So get ready to expand your mind, because what we're covering today is absolutely going to change how you look up at the night sky.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. First, the echo of creation. Second, discovering the cosmic hum. Third, the limits of science. Fourth, science and the creator. And finally, number 5, true education and morality.
All right, let's jump straight in. Section 1, the echo of creation, finding the universe's oldest secret in your living room. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen static on a really old TV? I know a lot of you are entirely used to digital streaming and high-definition screens by now, but think about those older, bulky television sets, the ones with the antennas on top. Have you ever noticed that fuzzy black and white static violently jumping around on the screen when a channel just wasn't coming in clearly? You know, that random noisy fuzz that makes a really loud hissing sound?
Well, the profound truth hiding inside that static is literally mind-blowing. When you watch that fuzzy screen, you weren't just looking at random electronic noise from the TV itself. You were actually watching the echo of the universe's birth. No way, right? But it's true. A tiny fraction of that television static is actually ancient microwave radiation, left over from the very beginning of creation. You could literally see the echo of the beginning of everything. You just didn't know its true source. So how in the world did we figure out that our living room TVs were picking up signals from the dawn of time?
That brings us to Section 2, discovering the cosmic hum, how scientists found the leftover heat of space. So what exactly is that hum? It's called cosmic microwave background radiation, or CMBR for short. Basically, this is the faint leftover heat and energy in space from the universe's incredibly hot, dense beginning. Many astrophysicists and cosmologists consider this faint leftover heat to be the absolute strongest piece of evidence for the Big Bang Theory and for the fact that we live in an expanding universe. Think about it like this. It's exactly like feeling the warmth radiating from a fireplace long after the actual flames have totally died down. Let's trace the timeline of this incredible discovery. It all starts at the beginning, the actual creation event where light and matter burst into existence. Now let's fast forward thousands of years to 1965. Scientists Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson were working with this giant radio antenna, and they accidentally detected a faint hum, or microwave glow, coming from space. And the crazy thing? It wasn't coming from just one star. It seemed to fill the entire universe equally. That was the CMBR. And moving to the modern day, we've actually launched highly advanced satellites like WMAP and Planck to map this exact radiation in stunning detail. And when those modern satellites measured the radiation temperatures across the entire sky, they found these tiny, microscopic heat variations. But here is the most amazing part. Those temperature variations weren't just random, chaotic noise. Not at all. They were the exact, precise conditions needed to help galaxies, stars, and planets form. It completely shows an ordered, purposefully designed system. It reveals a universe that was never random, but carefully calibrated for structure. But as incredibly amazing as these empirical discoveries are, science absolutely has its boundaries.
Let's look at Section 3, the limits of science, where observation ends and the big questions begin.
You see, science does a genuinely wonderful job explaining the mechanics. It observes and measures the leftover energy, it tracks the heat, and it maps out the cosmos. But it hits a solid wall when it comes to the actual origin of time, space, and energy. It proves that the universe has expanded and changed over time for sure, but it cannot explain how the universe got here in the very first place out of absolutely nothing.
So the crucial point is this. Science says the energy is left over, but believers ask the deeper question, who started it all? While science proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that something massive and amazing happened a long time ago, it can't explain the ultimate reason why it happened or the who behind the event. Science can examine the paint and the canvas all day long, but it cannot tell you the name of the artist. You see, you do not have to reject science to believe in God. In fact, a true understanding of science deeply enriches your faith.
Which leads perfectly into Section 4, Science and the Creator,
harmonizing the empirical with the biblical.
Did you know the Bible spoke of an expanding universe thousands of years before satellites or telescopes even existed? Just listen to Isaiah 40:22. It says, "He stretches out the heavens like a canopy and spreads them out like a tent to live in." I really want you to focus on that word, stretches. That ancient biblical description of God stretching out the heavens perfectly, miraculously mirrors our modern scientific discovery of a continually expanding universe filled with background radiation.
And hey, it's not just theologians who see this connection. Even brilliant secular scientists look at this data and are just struck by awe. Dr. Robert Jastrow, who's a very famous astronomer and planetary physicist, examined this exact same cosmic background radiation and concluded that it points directly toward a creator. He even went on record to state that the creation of the universe was driven by a supernatural force. When looking at the sheer order of the cosmos, many scientists admit there is way more to the story than just blind chance.
Okay, let's pause here and lock in what we've learned so far. Take a quick mental snapshot of these 5 key homework questions. 1. What is cosmic background radiation? 2. Who discovered it and when? 3. How do satellites use CMBR to study space? 4. Why do Christians still believe God made the universe, even with CMBR? And 5. How do the Bible and science actually align? Make sure you can confidently answer the what, why, and how for every single one of these.
All right, wrapping things up with Section 5, True Education and Morality, the HeroesmartAcademy philosophy.
Education without morality will hurt. In the HeroesmartAcademy Godly Learner series, we intentionally intertwine biblical morality with your education because of this very fact. Just think about it for a second. What is the absolute point of being highly intelligent, supposedly educated, and knowing all about astrophysics if you just continue to make bad choices that hurt yourself or hurt the people around you? A brilliant mind without a moral compass is a tragedy.
But there is a much better path. Romans 8:6-7 promises peace of mind to everyone who keeps his or her mind spiritual. Pairing a sharp, highly educated mind with a strong biblical moral compass is the true key to success. When you commit to being both a scientific thinker and a spiritual, moral individual, you unlock lasting peace of mind. That's our lived experience, and it is exactly what we want for every single one of you as you engage with our content.
Which leaves us with this final, vital question today. Science clearly shows us that the universe is an ordered, breathtaking masterpiece, practically glowing with the divine echo of creation. So, what will you do with the mind the artist gave you? Will you use your education and your morality to honor the Creator? Let that question soak in, keep looking up at the stars, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.